From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. We have a First Alert weather day that's slated for Sunday. We're going to have some nice days in the run up to this, but Sunday in the Kittitas Valley, we could have peak wind gusts up around 60 miles per hour. We'll have a lot more to say about this a little bit later in the show. But for right now, temperatures are down into the 30s and 40s for lower elevations. It looks like most of us are a little bit too warm to see any frost, although we're cutting it very close in Hermiston. There is that freeze warning that's in place for lower elevations until 9 this morning. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show as well. Now up into the higher terrain of the Blues or the Cascades, 20s and 30s, so frost certainly would be a possibility there. Here's your day planner forecast for today for lower elevations. We'll be into the mid-60s come time for lunchtime. Just another gorgeous day out there, and we'll be into the 60s and 70s by the time we get to the peak of daytime heating. So here's the bottom line for the forecast. Highs staying above average over the next week. We'll have little chances of thunderstorms in the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains for tomorrow and Saturday. And in the Kittitas Valley, it's not just going to be strong wind gusts for Sunday, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all could be quite blustery up that way. So we'll talk about all this coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a major shakeup in Franklin County, why commissioners just took jail control away from the sheriff, and what it could mean for safety and oversight. Plus new this morning, a quiet Pierce County neighborhood shaken by gunfire, what we know so far after a young man was found dead in the street. Also ahead, a dangerous light in the sky leads to a dramatic arrest, how a Spokane Sheriff's helicopter crew helped catch the man accused of pointing a laser at the aircraft. It's all in Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Thursday, April 24th. We're going to start your top stories off with continuing coverage. In a move that's turning heads, the Franklin County Commissioners have officially stripped control of the jail from longtime Sheriff Jim Raymond. Now, this comes after a state audit found some discrepancies when it comes to the managing of funds. But it was something one board member says wasn't a surprise, and they have known about the report for, quote, a while now. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen says the meeting was an emotional one after members of the community and jail employees spoke out, saying they're worried the decision of the commissioners are putting people's lives at risk.
Big changes are coming to the Franklin County Jail, and fast. But not everyone is on board, including the sheriff.
But as we pull out of the jail, those certifications aren't there. So you should be concerned. And you're also going to lose accreditation in the jail with the maneuvers that you've done today.
Despite Sheriff Raymond's concerns, commissioners say they will be able to put this plan into action as smoothly as they can. While Sheriff Raymond wanted to explain further, the commissioners, especially Chair Pro Tem Clint Didier, wasn't having it.
Your 3 minutes are up.
The law requires
We will recess the meeting for 5 minutes.
the law, if it's orderly.
Tensions high inside the Franklin County Commissioner chambers as officials voted to take control of jail operations from the sheriff's office, a move many in the community say came with little warning and even less explanation.
If you have a second, take a second. If you need to shelve this for a week and think and properly execute.
There's no record of jail oversight being on any prior county commission agenda. Still, Commissioner Stephen Bauman says the decision wasn't made in haste.
I would disagree with that notion. I've personally sat down with 4 other counties and numerous commissioners just asking about some of the challenges that we face. Feel like this is a necessary and appropriate action for us to take today.
But for many in the audience, the move feels rushed and risky, potentially putting lives in danger.
For 9 years and in Franklin County Jail for 9.5. I don't think you know what you're doing. I don't think you know what you're giving away. And I think it's very foolish. I think it's a potential risk to the safety of the people who work there. Really not myself. The corrections officers, the chaplains, DOC, psychologists who come from Eastern State Hospital to evaluate people, the attorneys, all the people that come and go from the jail. It's not any of you. You haven't been there.
Some plead with the board to reconsider. Others are angry, saying commissioners have turned their backs on the voters of Franklin County who put their trust in Sheriff Raymond.
This county needs you to understand what these men and women go through. And they're telling you, I'm telling you today, rescind this. You go and work it out and show yourselves better. I want you to be better. I want you to be successful. But the voters have voted Jim Raymond as our sheriff.
The board offered current jail commander Keelan Harmon the interim role overseeing what will now be a newly formed Franklin County Department of Corrections. It was a move the commander wasn't expecting, but ended up accepting the offer.
We're looking for a great leader of the jail. Would you be interested in being the interim jail administrator?
I love my people. I don't want to see anybody else. So yeah.
After the meeting, Sheriff Raymond says he'll follow the law, but he believes the commission is making a dangerous mistake.
Well, it's insanity is what's with that in there. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office is dual accredited, has all of its certifications both on the jail side and the operational side, the sheriff's side. The men and women of the Sheriff's Office haven't done anything wrong.
Raymond says without a court order, he'll keep deputies in the courthouse to protect judges and staff. But the commissioners say that's going to be short-lived. It now has to navigate a very public power struggle over who's really in charge of safety and security in Franklin County. Now that it's approved, control of the jail will shift to a new Department of Corrections run by Franklin County. Reporting in Pasco, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Dan. Now, Raymond says FCSO will transfer control to Franklin County within the next 48 hours. Turning to crime news now, one man is dead and two others are behind bars after an attack and high-speed chase. Officials say a woman called 911 reporting she had been robbed, beaten, and held against her will. Deputies later spotted the suspected car and attempted a traffic stop. When they did, two women got out and surrendered, but a man jumped into the driver's seat and sped off. A high-speed chase followed, but the suspect lost control of the car and crashed. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and the investigation into the incident continues. And a driver is facing DUI charges after crashing a Camaro into a garbage truck early yesterday morning. Deputies say the driver was not hurt, but was arrested at the scene. Investigators believe this could be the same reckless driver that neighbors have been calling in about in recent days. The incident remains under investigation. New this morning, Pierce County deputies are investigating a deadly shooting that left one young man dead in a neighborhood. Now, just after 10:30 last night, neighbors on 17th Avenue East reported hearing dozens of gunshots and then saw a man lying in the street. When deputies arrived, they found shell casings scattered through the cul-de-sac, with homes and cars struck by gunfire. The man, believed to be in his late teens to early 20s, was pronounced dead at the scene. No arrests have been made, and detectives are still searching for a suspect. Turning out to Washington, in the last year, the FBI says aircraft at two Washington international airports have seen a dramatic increase in laser beams being shot at aircrafts, and now authorities have arrested a 45-year-old man accused of just that near Spokane International Airport. The Spokane Regional Air Support Unit says Air One was hit with a laser late Friday night while patrolling the area. The crew was able to track the beam and guide ground officers to the suspect. His name is Rusty A. Flett, and he was arrested in an open field. Officials say Flett may be connected to several earlier incidents dating back months. The investigation is ongoing, and while no injuries were reported, investigators stress that pointing a laser at an aircraft is a serious crime that can blind pilots and endanger lives. It's also a federal offense, carrying a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Now, Washington voters weighed in on key local measures in this month's special election, and this morning we're breaking down some of the most talked about issues and where the results stand as of right now. First in Yakima County, Proposition 1 would fund a new emergency radio system. It's passing with almost 80% of voters saying yes. There will be a 0.2% sales tax hike. In Benton County, voters were tasked to decide if a levy should pass for Findlay School District 53. That would replace certain educational programs and operations. More than 60% of voters agreed. And in Walla Walla County, there was Prop 1 for the Waitsburg School District proposition, and that was a capital project levy to enhancing safety and security for students. It doesn't look like that one will pass, with over 55% of voters saying no. Finally, to another proposition also in Walla Walla County, voters needed to decide if a new regional fire authority could become a reality. That would be known as Walla Walla North County Fire. Almost 80% of voters said yes. Now, for updates on demand, just head to our website. That's applevalleynewsnow.com. And turning to more Yakima news, Yakima Deputy Mayor Matt Brown says he's officially running for re-election to the City Council. Brown says he wants to continue representing his neighbors and hopes voters will rehire him for another 4 years. If re-elected, he says his priorities will include protecting property rights, opposing new taxes and regulations, also supporting small businesses and limiting government interference, all while focusing on fiscal discipline and local control. And keep it here, because coming up next, a teen's decision to donate a kidney sparks a chain reaction of life-saving surgeries. 5 lives changed forever, and it all started with one simple act of kindness. We have the details on that, but first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your first alert weather forecast. Good morning, Northwest. We'll be right back.
Your adventure begins when you and Alice step into the $185,000 prize land at Wild Horse Resort and Casino, with $16,000 in cash and prizes every Friday and Saturday. But wait, hurry, don't be late for a very important grand prize date, April 26th. 4 winners and 1 winner of $20,000 cash. Wild Horse Resort and Casino. Celebrate 3 decades of fun.
Ryan wants to get every new device that's smart. I'm wondering, how can the internet handle all of this?
We have Spectrum Internet. We use it for everything. Homework, remote work from home, doing research for trips.
Spectrum Internet allows us to do things faster and more conveniently.
I feel like that's a win-win for everybody.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Did you know Tri-City Lumber Company isn't just for contractors? We're your local source for decking, railing, hardware, and more, open to everyone. For over 30 years, DIYers and homeowners have trusted us for quality materials and expert one-on-one advice. Now, under new ownership, we're making it even easier to shop local and build better. Skip the big box stores. Visit Tri-City Lumber today on Clearwater and Kennewick, or call us at 509-783-3322 today.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
I'm Eduardo Morfin. Morfin Law Firm thanks you for 5 years of support. Remember, when choosing an attorney, select a local attorney that supports your local community.
It's time to be legendary.
We can be anything!
My family has been behind me every step of the way. They're a big reason why I am who I am today.
It's been something that I've dreamed of since I was a little kid.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight on ABC.
This newscast sponsored by Shriners Children's Spokane. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We still have a freeze warning that's in place for the lower Columbia Basin and for the Bluefoot Hills of Walla Walla and Umatilla counties. This runs until 9 a.m. So hopefully you took all those necessary precautions last night to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. So let's show you where low temperatures sit right now. As we're at 35 for Ellensburg, 44 in Vantage, but could be a little frosty in Cle Elum as we're at 29 degrees there. In the Yakima Valley, it looks like we're all above freezing for now. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, it looks like we're all also above freezing, except Hermiston's cutting it pretty close, 33. And remember, the freezing threshold is 32 degrees, very close there. Then in the Bluefoot Hills, looks like we're mostly in the low to mid 40s, 20s and 30s, and higher terrain in the Blue Mountains. So that's also where it could be a little bit frosty. All right, here's your coat cast for today for the Tri-Cities. A light jacket weather for this morning, and then t-shirt weather a little bit later today. That's going to be an easy wardrobe choice, as we'll have plenty of sunshine. High temperatures, that'll be about 5 degrees above average for this time of the year. That means low 70s in the Kittitas Valley and the Bluefoot Hills, mid 70s in the Yakima Valley and in the lower Columbia Basin. We'll be even warmer as we head into Friday and Saturday, then a little bit cooler after that with some very strong wind gusts, specifically in the Kittitas Valley. I'll tell you just how strong coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In Washington now, a teenager's selfless decision sparking a life-saving chain reaction. From Bethel to Mill Creek, how one 21-year-old's gift of life led to 5 successful kidney transplants and a room full of gratitude. The incredible first meeting. Take a look.
In this room, it's the first face-to-face meeting after life-saving surgeries.
I got the call 3 days before the surgery was supposed to happen.
Here are the photos of a 10-person kidney donation chain that all started with a teenager from Bothell.
If you can help, you should help. There's not much to it other than that.
That's what led Patrick Baldwin McCurdy to reach out to Providence Swedish.
He did come to us when he was 17, and we said, you're, obviously not of age.
Here, the rule is you have to be 21 to be a benevolent donor.
Thought, okay, I can wait until 21, and so I sent the email at 21.
At the Organ Transplant Center, that sparked more acts of kindness.
Another pair is able to come forward. They're not a match. They're able to donate to another pair.
Alejandra and Ricardo were caught in that ripple effect. The Mill Creek couple, married 37 years, had already received devastating news from doctors.
They say, you know what, you are almost dying. Go to the emergency room.
I was dying.
Ricardo's kidneys were failing. There were hospital visits and the dream of an organ transplant.
In the beginning, I was hopeless because I said, who's going to give it to me?
His wife did not hesitate. Ready to give him her kidney, she filled out this form with her reason why.
For love, because I love him so much.
But she wasn't a match. Instead, the couple joined the donation chain, where Alejandra was able to save a man named Harry. Ricardo is alive thanks to Derek.
I just want to say thank you, my doctor, to you, to everyone.
A total of 5 lives were saved thanks to what Patrick started.
I think seeing all the people that I've helped, it's been life-changing.
A selfless act is now offering new hope.
Such a heartwarming story. I love that one. We'll keep it here because coming up next, Josh is back with your full weather forecast. How's it looking for this weekend? He'll let you know right after the break.
Hi, I'm Rowdy with Total Energy Management. For 40 years, we've been keeping the Tri-Cities comfortable with top-notch heating and air conditioning services. We take pride in delivering exceptional service and unbeatable deals. Right now, you can save big with up to $4,900 in rebates and tax credits on a new Carrier heating and cooling system. So turn to the experts at Total Energy Management to ensure your house has the perfect temperature year-round. Visit TEMINC.com or call 946-4500 to learn more.
Hi, I'm renovation expert Scott McGilvery. I know bath remodeling, and I've seen all the gimmicks. Buy now, half off, free installation. This is why I work with Bathfitter. With 40 years of experience and 2 million installs, I trust their integrity. Bathfitter gives you a fair price and sticks to it with a lifetime warranty. You don't need gimmicks, just a partner you can trust. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Gather the family and come on down to the 62nd Annual Parade of Gems, April 25th through the 27th in the Modern Living Building at the Fairgrounds. Go back in time as we present fossils of the Northwest and beyond. See demonstrations on gold panning, wire wrapping, lapidary, and more. Dozens of vendors will be offering rock and mineral specimens and jewelry too. There will be games, door prizes, and more. Doors open at 10 a.m. Come one, come all to the 62nd Annual Parade of Gems, April 25th through the 27th at the Fairgrounds in Yakima.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
Or get 3.9% financing for 60 months on all 2025 Silverado 2500 pickups when you finance with GM Financial.
See your community Chevy dealers.
Got a family reunion in the works? Make it unforgettable at Beaver Valley Lodge. With cozy rooms, beautiful mountain views, and plenty of space to gather, it's the perfect place to reconnect and make new memories. Book direct with us and get 10% off. That means more savings for barbecues, bonfires, and all those late-night laughs. So skip the middleman and book direct today, because great reunions start with the perfect place to stay. Beaver Valley Lodge. Come as a guest and leave as a friend.
Hello there. Watch Live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Sunday is a first alert weather day in the Kittitas Valley as we could have peak wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So we'll show you the run up to that. Now first, for today, it's going to be another gorgeous day out there. Lots of sunshine, high temperatures about 5 degrees warmer than normal. We will have some breezes for today out of the north and east for the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains, out of the south and east for the Kittitas Valley and up in the Cascades. Those winds should be between 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then for tonight, could have some lingering breezes up in the Cascades. Other than that, it's going to be calm, clear, and overnight lows down into the 40s for lower elevation, so you probably won't have to take those steps to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, or the plumbing. For tomorrow, there is a little chance of some showers and thunderstorms, mainly up in the Blue Mountains. We'll show you this with Futurecast. This is 4 p.m. You see Futurecast trying to generate some of that in the Blue Mountains, and then into the evening, maybe some of that getting into the Blue Foothills as well. Those chances going to be a little bit better for Saturday. But overall, this is going to be a very dry forecast over the next 7 days. That next best chance of rainfall is going to be on Tuesday. But impacts from the weather for this weekend, definitely not going to be zero, as we already talked about. The wind's going to be very blustery, but not just for Sunday, also Saturday. Look at this, out of the north and west around 50 miles per hour in Ellensburg. Also some pretty blustery conditions in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. But it's Sunday that we're really concerned about, as at this point, some of those peak wind gusts could be around 60 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, around 50 miles per hour in the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. So we'll continue to track all of that very closely. And this will have somewhat of an impact on our high temperatures. We could be around 80 in the Tri-Cities for Friday and Saturday, but cooler, although still above average for Sunday through Wednesday. Okay, here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Maybe our first 80-degree days of 2025 on Friday and Saturday, then slightly cooler for Sunday and beyond. In Yakima, breezes pick up Friday and Saturday, but it'll turn especially windy on Sunday. Other than that, a very pleasant 7-day forecast. In Ellensburg, a string of very windy days from Saturday through Tuesday. And again, we touched on it, but the strongest winds are going to be on Sunday. Maybe some relief in that regard by next Wednesday. In Hermiston, trending warmer over the next few days, slightly cooler for Sunday and beyond, but still very nice spring weather. Then for Walla Walla, a little chance of a thunderstorm on Saturday, dry and room temperature Sunday and Monday, then a decent chance of another shower for Tuesday. Now you're taking a live look at Columbia Point. This view coming courtesy of our friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel. Thanks for waking up with Good Morning Northwest, where we're always on your side.
What makes NUU unique? The amazing customer service that we offer to our patients. They know that they're heard, that they're listened to, and we genuinely care about their well-being.
From the second I walked in that office, I felt seen, I felt heard. I didn't feel judged. It just was like, we're a team and we're gonna figure this out.
I had a rare form of breast cancer. Dr. Fedino has just been fantastic. She was really just on my side and helping me, and I'm so relieved and blessed that I went there.
I'm nowhere near diabetic, and I feel amazing. And I lost 55 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off.
She had saved my life because if she hadn't taken just that moment to ask me one extra question, I absolutely would have had an ugly cancer 6 months later.
Go to newuwomensclinic.com to explore the countless ways that wellness meets beauty.
Triple play! Triple play!
Wow! Rob even makes two-pointers look cool!
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including go-karts, mini golf, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
Triple play!
Saturday, April 26th, get the best deals on wristbands for the best week of summer. Come to Ranch & Home in Kennewick and get your Carnival wristbands for only $30. The fun of the Benton Franklin Fair and Rodeo lasts 5 days, but this sale is one day only. So don't miss out on these savings. Saturday, April 26th at Kennewick Ranch & Home. Learn more at bentonfranklinfair.com.
All right, everybody. I know it's easy to forget things, but we don't want you to miss this new deal from US Cellular. Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines.
Ooh, I can save enough to buy a gift for my understanding wife.
Sorry, I'm late. Ooh, that's a great deal. I have a facial. This was fun.
Oh, come on. You have flowers?
Save big with our best price ever. Just $15 a line when you get 4 lines. US Cellular, built for us.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment headlines, Flavor Flav worked a shift at Raising Cane's in Las Vegas this week.
I miss Raising Cane's so much.
Too.
What about you?
Oh my, the toast. The
yes,
chicken fingers.
And the sauce. Good.
The sauce is the best.
Good for flavor, right? Well, it's part of the Hip Hop Stars marketing partnership with the restaurant chain known for, of course, its chicken fingers.
And the sauce boss.
Yeah, yep. Flavor Flav joined workers at a mall location to put together box combos. He also performed a song.
That was usually what I got. The box combo or the 3 chicken finger combo.
Definitely.
All great options.
Mouth is watering.
And you take out the coleslaw and you add an extra toast. That's always what you
definitely.
do. Well, Flavor Flav's signature look is wearing a big clock around his neck, and the marketing campaign includes a limited edition signed version of his clock covered in red rhinestones. They cost $5,000 each, with $4,000 of that going to the Women's Sports Foundation. So it's all for a good cause.
Good, yeah.
Well, now to more entertainment news. Robert Irwin is joining Dancing with the Stars. Yay!
The 21-year-old son of late crocodile hunter Steve Irwin is the first contestant announced for the 34th season of the show.
And Irwin is following in his sister's footsteps. And Bindi Irwin previously won the competition show with partner Derek Huff. And we grew up, did you grow up on Crocodile Hunter?
Oh, yeah.
I did, yeah. So like our generation loves Bindi and Robert. Like
yes.
We protect them at all costs. Like they're just, I think I'll watch this season.
The first celebrity death I remember was the crocodile hunter passing away.
With the stingray or something, so tragic.
May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace, but can't wait to see this season.
Yes.
Well, coming up next here on Good Morning Northwest, local port leaders join forces for an inside look at major projects that are shaping the Tri-Cities economy, what they shared, and why business leaders are paying close attention. Well, all the details coming up, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the Nintendo Switch 2 is selling out fast. The new gaming console went on sale at midnight. It sold out on Target's website first with a price tag of $450. Walmart, Best Buy, and GameStop quickly followed, all selling out within 2 hours. Uber says it may soon end its operations in Colorado if the state passes the law aimed at improving safety. The proposal would require regular criminal background checks for rideshare drivers and would require audio recordings of every trip Uber calls the bill deeply flawed. Finally, Meta has rolled out a live translation feature for owners of its Ray-Ban smart glasses. The feature allows the wearer to have a conversation in English, French, Italian, or Spanish, then hear the translation real-time through the glasses in your preferred language. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Lionel Moise. Have a great day.
And this is an important step for all our employees.
Blah, 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 blah.
Certain you're a mule?
Yeah. Are you for imprint certain?
Oh boy.
Certainty matters. So when you need the right high-quality promotional products, printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time, that's the certainty of 4imprint. Wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team by visiting 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. Pain means pause on the things you love, but green means go. Among neck pain sufferers, BioFreeze gel was found to be 2 times more effective than ice. So you can keep on going. BioFreeze. Green means go.
My mom likes hugs. She always likes beautiful things. You are my heart. I love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Pandora.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, 3-degree guarantee.
3-degree guarantee.
How's it looking?
It's looking real good, real
Lassoed
good.
in.
All right, so it is up to $225 now. Again, thanks to our friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel for sponsoring. So I went with a forecast high of 71 yesterday in Pasco Tri-Cities and a verified at 69. So yes, the jackpot did go up to $225. For today, I'm going with the toastier 76 degrees. So if it verifies between 73 to 79 in Pasco Tri-Cities, the jackpot's going to go up to $250. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page. You could scan the QR code that's on your screen. All right, again, we're just going to really hammer this point home that Sunday is a first alert weather day in the Kittitas Valley because we could have peak wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So, of course, we'll talk about that a lot more a little bit later in the show. But for now, it's cool out there, 30s and 40s for lower elevations, pretty close to freezing in Hermiston. It could be a little bit frosty there. Also, it could be a little bit frosty in the higher terrain of the Blues or the Cascades. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Hey, lots of sunshine. It's going to be a very nice day out there and even warmer compared to yesterday, as we'll be about 5 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. So that means low 70s in the Kittitas Valley and in the Blue Foothills, mid 70s in the Yakima Valley and in the Lower Columbia Basin. So get out there and enjoy it because it's just good for the soul to be outside in this kind of weather. And I'll take you on a zone-by-zone tour of today's very nice forecast. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Starting off your half hour of news, the Tri-City Regional Chamber brought together local leaders yesterday for a special luncheon featuring updates from our region's port districts. Representatives from the ports of Pasco, Kennewick, and Benton shared updates on economic development and future projects. The event drew a full house, including business owners, elected officials, and community members, all looking to learn what's ahead for the Tri-Cities. Port of Pasco Executive Director Adam Lincoln says these events are a critical way to stay connected to the community.
I think so few people pay attention to what's happening in local government. It's so far from their minds. They hear the national headlines all the time. And this is a way to hear how your tax dollars are really being spent or what's happening in your community on a very personal level.
Lincoln touched on several exciting initiatives from the ongoing airport expansion to the development of Osprey Point and even hinted at potential new businesses that could be coming to the area. The Tri-City Regional Chamber regularly hosts events like this to keep the community in the loop and foster local collaboration. Turning now to Richland, the school board is taking steps to eliminate references to race in its curriculum policy. During its regular meeting, the board unanimously voted to begin phasing out the policy, with leaders saying it's not required by the state and is considered outdated.
from the safeguards of the district and from the community, there are things in place that make sure that there are safeguards to where this particular Richland specific policy is redundant in the other steps that we utilize to make sure that the curriculum is approved curriculum for what our community is looking for.
Board Vice President Jill Olson says the district is still welcoming community feedback before moving forward with additional changes. And the Yakima City Council and Yakima County Commissioners sat down for a study session to tackle homelessness, focusing on the work of the county's Homeless Coalition. City Human Services Director Esther Magassis says while Yakima's homeless rate is below the state average, it's still higher than the national rate. Yakima Police Captain Chad Janis highlighted their work to address the overdose epidemic, partnering with service providers to reach people directly in high-impact areas. That strategy has led to more individuals engaging in support services. YPD also noted the impact on resources, saying each homelessness-related call takes about 40 minutes and has cost the city over $500,000.
2024, we had a little over 2,700 calls for service that are identified as homeless responses. And then we had 3,300 additional to that were identified by officers. So what I mean by that is somebody in the community called either through 911 or another system. 2,700 of those we responded to, and then our officers found a little over 3,300 on their own in some capacity or another, so just over 5,000 that we responded to last year.
The total calls in 2024 is an uptick from the previous 3 years. Council members suggested a number besides 911 could help, adjusting how funding is spent and also focusing on outreach. With roughly 36 repeat jail refusals for the county, one council member said they need to start by getting the homeless off the streets. Now to health news in Washington. The state is now reporting its 5th case of measles this year, and this time in a King County infant. This comes as a new poll shows growing confusion about vaccine safety. Nearly 2/3 of adults have heard the claim that the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine causes autism. About 1/3 have heard the claim that the measles vaccine is more dangerous than the disease. And the poll results reveal that measles misinformation is still impacting public belief. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, with fentanyl use on the rise, a major drug bust made in Oregon has law enforcement working together to crack down on the growing epidemic. We'll have more details on that coming up.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacey Lee Weather, Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
The old me was stuck in the daily grind. My routine didn't allow for any self-expression. I found clay, and that changed everything. I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative, to build something. And that's how Clay Room was born. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. There's a creative side in all of us. That's what I hope people come here to find.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Ink Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Got a family reunion in the works? Make it unforgettable at Beaver Valley Lodge. With cozy rooms, beautiful mountain views, and plenty of space to gather, it's the perfect place to reconnect and make new memories. Book direct with us and get 10% off. That means more savings for barbecues, bonfires, and all those late-night laughs. So skip the middleman and book direct today, because great reunions start with the perfect place to stay. Beaver Valley Lodge. Come as a guest and leave as a friend.
Steel battery. Double your runtime. Get a free extra battery with select Steel tools. Shop in-store and online.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer. McCurley Dealerships is celebrating 44 years with big giving and even bigger savings. Fill out an entry form at any McCurley dealership for a chance to win one of two $4,400 cash prizes. Plus, each winner gets an additional $4,400 to donate to one of 44 local nonprofit partners. No purchase necessary. And get a great deal on a new 2025 Subaru Forester for only $244 a month. McCurley Subaru, celebrating 44 years of savings, giving back, and helping you find your way home.
With all the worry about the cost of everything going up, is now the time to save more or the time to buy? And what about your job? Is now a good time to look for a new one? This morning, GMA's Rebecca Jarvis has the answers to your money questions on Good Morning America.
It's time to be legendary.
We can be anything!
My family has been behind me every step of the way. They're a big reason why I am who I am today.
It's been something that I've dreamed of since I was a little kid.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Tonight on ABC.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was a wonderful day to be outside, and today is going to be even more pleasant to be outside because it's going to be even warmer. We'll be into the mid-60s up in the Cascades, right around 70 degrees in the Kittitas Valley. A little bit breezy today with winds out of the south and east around 25 miles per hour. Then in the Yakima Valley, light winds overall. These highs around 75 degrees, mostly sunny skies. And then in the lower Columbia Basin, it's also going to be sunny and 75. It's going to be exactly sunny and 75 in the Tri-Cities. Then for the Blue Foothills, a little bit breezy here, just like what we're going to see up in the Cascades and in the Kittitas Valley. But these winds out of the north and east around 25 miles per hour. The highs in the Blue Foothills are going to be from the mid-60s to the low 70s. Will be in the low to mid-60s for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. But just tip to tell, this is going to be a beautiful day out there. Okay, now let's talk about the big picture, the seasonal rainfall deficits and surpluses we've been tracking since October 1st. Still, the numbers are looking pretty good in the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, very good in the lower Columbia Basin, but still, unfortunately, running a deficit. Now it's a 5% rainfall deficit in the Blue Foothills. Now, we do have a little bit of rainfall on the way for this weekend, but it's not looking like it's going to be very much. But I'll show you that. Also, I'll touch on the wind gust again for this weekend. That's going to be the big concern. So all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Taking you to Oregon now, where a major drug bust was made. Portland police and DEA officials say the amount of fentanyl that they found could have killed more than 1 million people. Julia Lopez reports on how they're working together.
Open-air drug markets and Honduran cartels are the target of a task force working to get fentanyl off the streets of Portland. In 5 to 6 missions conducted since January, the team has already seized almost as much fentanyl as Portland police confiscated in the entirety of 2024.
We at DEA consider 2 milligrams of fentanyl to be a potentially lethal dose. The fentanyl seized by our team in this case could have yielded over 1.5 million lethal doses. That's enough to kill everyone in Portland twice.
Portland Police, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and District Attorney are collaborating with the FBI, the DEA, and the U.S. Attorney's Office through the High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program.
We take somebody into custody maybe for a minor possession, but they're willing to talk to us about where they bought the drugs from, and we can begin to work up the ladder. And that's where we need the support of these folks, you know, when we can get to the next level, the next level, the next level.
With a focus on Portland's Goose Hollow and Lentz neighborhoods, Chief Day says the task force allows them to go after the traffickers at the top.
Sinaloa cartel is one of our major targets at DEA and for everyone behind us. So we try to attack the hierarchy as well as the mid-level traffickers, the wholesalers, and then down to the street-level dealers.
They say the Sinaloa cartel pushes drugs throughout the region out of Portland and even use children to sell fentanyl on the streets, something the DEA says is disturbingly prevalent here.
We've seen kids 14, 15 years old on numerous occasions trying to sell drugs to our undercover agents and confidential informants. They're being exploited by these cartel members. Oftentimes we've seen them carrying backpacks full of fentanyl because they have no place else to put it.
It's exploitation that officials aim to stop with missions like this. So far this year, they've made 46 arrests and seized more than $204,000 in cash, 44 pounds of fentanyl powder, and 2,507 fentanyl pills.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, we've got your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And Josh will be back with your full First Alert forecast. Keep it right here.
Visit Fred's Appliance today and discover unbeatable deals on the largest selection of in-stock, get-it-today inventory in the region. This 2-in-1 removable agitator from Whirlpool lets you choose how you wash and care for your clothes by easily swapping the agitator post in or out. With 2 ways to wash, it's twice the washer you have at home. Get it today and save $420 on the Whirlpool Hybrid Washer-Dryer pair. At Fred's, we sell appliances. Only appliances.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
Got a birthday coming up, celebrating a big win, or just want to gather the crew for a pizza and a good time? For decades, Hubby's Pizza has been the go-to spot for family, friends, and fun. Reserve your table and bring the whole gang. Kids, family, teammates, whoever loves great pizza and good vibes. Dig into your favorite pizza, hit up the fresh salad bar, and let the kids have a blast in the arcade. And if the party's at your place, no problem. Hubby's now delivers through Grubhub and DoorDash. A community tradition, a place to celebrate. Acquire the Hubby's habit today.
McCurley Dealerships is celebrating 44 years with big giving and even bigger savings. Fill out an entry form at any McCurley dealership for a chance to win one of 2 $4,400 cash prizes. Plus, each winner gets an additional $4,400 to donate to one of 44 local nonprofit partners. No purchase necessary. And during this special month, lease a new Honda Civic for only $344 a month or save with 0% financing. McCurley Honda, celebrating 44 years of savings, giving back, and helping you find your way home.
Did you know Astria Health has the only team of neurosurgeons in the Lower Valley? Patients no longer need to travel long distances to receive the spine care they need. Patients with spinal tumors, stenosis, herniated or degenerative disc diseases, spine trauma, fractures, or spinal cord injury can be seen by an Astria neurosurgeon in Prosser, Sunnyside, or Zillah. Ask your primary care provider for a referral to one of our neurosurgeons. Astria Health, exceptional rural health care close to home.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacy Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Sunday is going to be a First Alert weather day in the Kittitas Valley because of peak wind gusts up around 60 miles per hour. So those could very easily be damaging wind gusts. That's the end of the story. We're going to get back to that. But first, let's start off at the beginning of the story. Today, it's going to be beautiful out there. We'll have plenty of sunshine. Highs are going to be about 5 degrees warmer than normal for late April. A little bit breezy in the Blue Mountains, the Blue Foothills, in the Kittitas Valley and up in the Cascades. Some of those winds gusting around 20 to 30 miles per hour at best. And then for tonight, some lingering breezes up in the Cascades. Other than that, it's going to be calm, clear. Overnight lows dropping down into the 40s for lower elevations, so just probably too warm to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, or the plumbing. Okay, for tomorrow, there's going to be a little chance of some showers or thunderstorms up in the Blue Mountains. This is 11 a.m. tomorrow morning as we put this into motion with Futurecast. You can see around the peak of daytime heating, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., Futurecast trying to show a few showers or thunderstorms up in the Blue Mountains. And during the evening, some of that could slip down into the Blue Foothills, but it's going to be mostly dry for tomorrow. We could have a continuation of that into Saturday, specifically for the Blue Mountains and the Blue Foothills. And then there's another our next best chance of rainfall is going to be on Tuesday. We'll get to that when we get to that. But first, I want to talk about some of the big time wind gusts we could have for this weekend. And it's not just going to be on Sunday. Sunday is going to be the First Alert weather day, but even on Saturday, some of these winds could be up around 50 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. But For Sunday, the big day, up around 60 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, up around 50 miles per hour in the Bluefoot Hills of Morrow County. So we could very easily see some downed tree limbs, spotty power outages, or difficult travel for high-profile vehicles. And these winds will have an impact on our temperatures, but not a very big impact, as we'll be about 10 degrees above average for Friday and Saturday, and then about 2 to 5 degrees above average for Sunday through Wednesday, but still warmer than normal for the last little stretch of April. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Maybe our first 80-degree days of 2025 on Friday and Saturday, then slightly cooler for Sunday and beyond. In Yakima, breezes pick up Friday and Saturday, but it'll turn especially windy on Sunday. Other than that, a very pleasant 7-day forecast. In Ellensburg, a string of very windy days from Saturday through Tuesday with the strongest winds on Sunday, maybe some relief by next Wednesday. In Hermiston, trending warmer over the next few days, slightly cooler for Sunday and beyond, but still very nice spring weather going forward. And then for Walla Walla, a little chance of a thunderstorm on Saturday, dry and room temperatures Sunday and Monday, then a decent shower chance for Tuesday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:50. It's time for your morning sprint, starting off with the top 5 local stories that you need to know. First up, Franklin County commissioners have stripped control of jail and courthouse security from Sheriff Jim Raymond. Tensions were high during Tuesday's meeting as leaders voted to shift jail operations away from the sheriff's office. There was no prior agenda notice, and many in the audience expressed concern over the sudden move. Critics say it feels rushed and could put lives at risk. And to see more details on this, stay tuned for our 6 o'clock hour. Yakima City Council held a study session last night with the county commissioners to talk about their homeless coalition. The Human Services Director confirmed the county homeless population is trending below the state level, but is above the national numbers. YPD says homeless calls in general take 40 minutes and have been an investment that's cost over $500,000. Pierce County deputies are investigating a shooting that left one young man dead, and this happened just after 10:30 last night. Neighbors on 17th Avenue East reported hearing dozens of gunshots and saw a man lying in the street. When deputies arrived, they found shell casings scattered with homes and cars struck by the gunfire. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. No arrests have been made, and detectives are still searching for a suspect. A driver is facing DUI charges after crashing a Camaro into a garbage truck early yesterday morning. Deputies say the driver was not hurt but was arrested at the scene. Investigators believe this could be the same reckless driver that neighbors have been reporting in the last few days. The incident is under investigation. And if you have yard waste or debris piling up, this weekend is your chance to get rid of it safely and also for free. Yakima's West Valley Fire Rescue will be on hand this Saturday to collect yard waste and other items like cardboard, landscaping debris, wood pallets, and much more. It's located at 10,000 Zier Road from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They will not be accepting large appliances, electronics, or hazardous waste. Turning now to your national headlines this morning, at least 9 people have been killed and more than 60 wounded in Russian attacks on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, early this morning. At least 42 people were taken to the hospital, including 6 children, and that's according to Ukraine officials. President Zelensky, who is traveling in South Africa, saying today he would cancel part of his visit and return to Ukraine earlier than expected. This comes amid intensifying negotiations to end the war, with White House officials pressuring Zelensky and Ukraine to accept a potential peace plan that may lead or include ceding land to Russia. President Trump accusing Zelensky of prolonging the, quote, killing field yesterday. And the Real ID deadline is almost here. Starting May 7th, adults will have to present Real ID compliant ID cards to board a domestic flight. That means driver's licenses or other state-issued identification must have the stamped markings on the right-hand corner. Travelers will still be able to use passports as an alternative form of ID at the airport. Processing times and fees vary by state. In some states, it could take up to 20 days to get a hard copy of the ID. The travel requirement was originally scheduled to take effect back in 2020, but it was pushed back because of a backlog at Department of Motor Vehicle offices across the country during the COVID pandemic. Now to your business headlines this morning. Elon Musk says he's going back to Tesla. Musk told investors he would step back from his role running the Department of Government Efficiency next month. And he said he'll spend just 1 or 2 days a week there and spend the freed up time running Tesla. But his high-profile support of President Trump and controversial role at Doge may have already cost the company. Earlier this month, the electric car maker reported the biggest sales drop in its history during the first quarter as buyers fled the brand. Southwest Airlines has announced it will be cutting flights in the second half of the year. The company cited economic uncertainty as the reason, and Southwest expects its revenue to be flat or fall off 4% in the second quarter compared to a year prior. The scale back comes as the airline ends its open seating model and free checked luggage. Earlier this month, United and Delta announced they were reducing domestic flights in the second half of the year as well. In your health headlines, as part of his Make America Healthy Again agenda, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants to tackle chemical contamination in food. Part of that is his announced ban on food dyes, and another is reducing our reliance on plastic packaging. He spoke at a summit on plastic alternatives in North Carolina, calling for industries to work ahead of potential regulation. Some environmental groups say this seems out of step with other administration actions. A rep with the Southern Environmental Law Center saying the EPA should maintain and enforce strict regulations through the Clean Air and Water Acts if they're serious about making a change. Talking sports now, as pro football fans are already likely aware, the 2025 NFL Draft kicks off tonight. The big event will be held in Green Bay, Wisconsin this year, and the Tennessee Titans will have the first pick. That'll kick off a selection process where 257 college players will be chosen by teams over 7 rounds, and you can watch it live on ESPN or the NFL Network. And the Seattle Mariners took the win against the Boston Red Sox last night. Final score 8-5. They take them on again this morning in Boston at Fenway Park. All right, trending this morning, congratulations are in order at the Australia Zoo, where 3 baby Komodo dragons have hatched. I don't think I've ever seen a baby Komodo dragon, so I'm excited for this one. The Australia Zoo matched 2 of its 8-year-old Komodo dragons, and after 214 days, the first baby hatched. Oh, that looks like a lizard.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cute little guy.
It's like way before time.
Well, my nickname back in high school is Ducky, so.
Yep.
Yep. Well, anyway, the zoo says the babies are now being carefully monitored and cared for around the clock. Komodo dragons are the largest lizard species in the world, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature has them on the endangered species list. They are native to just 5 islands in Southeast Indonesia.
And the venomous lizard can grow up to be 10 feet long, about the length of a small car, and on average they weigh about 154 pounds. Their tails are as long as their bodies, and they have fork-like tongues that are used to smell their prey. And I will never forget being disappointed as a child when I heard Komodo dragon and didn't see, like, a dragon with wings.
But still,
they're pretty cool looking. Yeah, 10
and
feet.
fully grown.
Yeah.
That's scary. Imagine running up on that.
Encountering one? Yeah.
In the wild.
Yeah.
If it's a little lizard, I'd get the warm and fuzzies. If it's a fully grown Komodo dragon, I'm hightailing it out.
Yeah, I'm already dead, probably.
Yeah.
We'll keep it here because coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6, a major shakeup in Franklin County, why commissioners just took jail control away from the sheriff, and what it could mean for safety and oversight. Plus, a dangerous light in the sky leads to a dramatic arrest, how a Spokane sheriff's helicopter crew helped catch the man accused of pointing a laser at the aircraft. And Josh, what are you tracking?
Well, first of all, a beautiful sunrise in Pasco.
Gorgeous.
Second of all, a lot of winds. A lot of winds ahead of us, especially in the Kittitas Valley. I'll tell you which day could be the windiest, and that's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.